Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for coming along today, and thanks to those that have joined us online. So it has been a pretty exciting year for Genesis the last 12 months. We've seen some significant growth as a company, and given the announcement that we had in September, where we'll have a strategic funding package and a change of board and management team, I think there's some significant growth to come over the next couple of years, and it'll be a very good time to be a shareholder of Genesis. So what I'll do today, I'll introduce you to our Ulysses Gold Project, for those that don't already know it, talk about what will be happening over the next couple of months, and also talk about our exploration activities, which have been pretty exciting over recent times. So why Genesis? Well, our flagship Ulysses Project, it's located in the eastern goldfields of Western Australia. It's right where you want to be. We're surrounded by some very large gold deposits, and we're in an area of world-class mining infrastructure. We're 30 kilometres south of the town of Leonora and 200 kilometres north of Kalgoorlie. Importantly, the project covers highly prospective rocks from a gold point of view, and that's the most important thing. We've seen our resource grow to 1.6 million ounces over the last 3 years, and that's come about by our successful drilling that we've completed and the acquisition last year of the Kukaini tenements. We put money into the ground. We spent over $25 million since 2018 on drilling. That trend will continue for the foreseeable future and will increase over the next 12 months, and we expect to see the resultant resource growth from that work. We've had some really pleasing exploration results in 2021, and all those results will feed into the next resource update. In terms of the development of Ulysses, the work we've done so far shows it's a really robust project. However, given the recent proposed board and management changes, the successful exploration we've had over the past 6 months, and the ongoing resource growth, the feasibility study has now been deferred. So in summary, we've got a very good asset with Ulysses. We've got plenty of resource growth still to come. We've got some really good exploration news happening, and will continue to happen with the drilling that we're doing, and we'll have plenty of exciting news to come out of that. So as I mentioned before, it's a really good time to be a shareholder of Genesis. So continuing on with that theme of why it's good to be a shareholder with Genesis at the moment. On the September 22nd of last month, we announced the strategic funding and board restructure to be led by Raleigh Finlayson. Raleigh will cornerstone the funding package, which I think speaks volumes for the quality of the Ulysses project and the work that's been done there over the last couple of years. So Raleigh's record speaks for itself. Raleigh and his team have transformed Saracen from a small gold mining company in 2010 to a highly credentialed, well-performing mid-tier gold company that finally merged with Northern Star last year. So after the funding package has been completed, we'll have just over $25 million in the bank, which will see us continue to drill aggressively at Ulysses and pursue other opportunities if they emerge. So we'll vote on this strategic funding and board restructure at our AGM, which is due on the 19th of November. The current board is fully supportive of this proposal. So you can see the market agrees with that share price graph there. On announcement, we are more than doubled in share price. And look, as a shareholder myself, I think there's some great things to happen with Genesis over the next couple of years. So looking at Ulysses in a bit more detail, a big event for us last year was the acquisition of the Kukaini tenements. It consolidated a key bit of ground between our original Ulysses deposit that you can see there on the plan and the Orient Well deposit. So it was this 15 kilometres of strike that we think is very important for us. The red shaded area is our 100% owned Ulysses tenements. The orange area is the Desdemona South joint venture that we have with Kin Mining, where we're targeting new discoveries. We last updated the resource in March of 2021. Very robust resource, and we'll be looking to update that within the next 3 to 6 months. We've continued to drill aggressively this year. We're looking to complete about 60,000 metres of drilling in the second half of 2021, and all those results from that drilling will flow into the updated resource. So one of the exciting things for us about the acquisition of the Kukaini tenements, we were the first company to really consolidate this bit of ground. Previously, it was very piecemeal. And just quickly on the resource growth, so we've grown from 150,000 ounces to just over 1.6 million ounces at the moment, and this trend will continue for the foreseeable future. The current resource stands at 27 million tonnes at 1.8 grams per tonne gold for 1.6 million ounces, and importantly, we have nearly 1 million ounces in measured and indicated resources. So looking at it in a bit more detail now, the slide you see on the right-hand side is that 15-kilometre zone that I was talking about. This is where we've spent most of the time drilling over the past 12 months. It's the same rock types and structures that host the gold mineralisation at the Ulysses Deposit that run through this whole area. So the work we've done in 2021 has been all about expanding the existing resources at depth and along strike, as well as looking for new discoveries, which we've been reasonably successful at doing that as well. You can see the breakdown of the current resources there with Ulysses on the left-hand side, the western side, the Admiral Clark butterfly area in the centre there, and Orient Well out to the east. So over the next few slides, we'll just look at the individual deposits, starting off with Ulysses. The current resource at Ulysses is 838,000 ounces. Importantly, there's a high-grade component of 4.8 million tonnes at 4.5 grams for just over 700,000 ounces. This is a large mineralised system. It stretches over 1.5 kilometres of strike. We've taken it down dip about 700 metres at the moment, about 400 metres below surface, and it's still open in all directions. All this mineralisation is on the one structure we call the Ulysses Shear. We've done a lot of work on understanding how to mine the Ulysses deposit, and all that work has fed into the feasibility work that we have been doing. In terms of drilling at the moment, we've been focused on upgrading some of the inferred parts of the resource to indicated, and those white polygons you can see there are some of the areas we have been looking at and will continue to look at for the next 6 months. Moving on to the Admiral Clark butterfly area now. This is 4 to 5 kilometres to the east of Ulysses. Again, this is a large mineralised system, stretches over 1.8 kilometres of strike. We've got a shallow resource here of 460,000 ounces at the moment, and you can see the breakdown of the resources there, and we expect this to grow significantly with the work that we've done this year. So in terms of the geology, the bulk of the mineralisation we've been looking at the moment, and where the bulk of the resources are hosted in, is within the butterfly dolerite, which is a rock type that runs across that slide there in the centre of the slide. We have the butterfly north dolerite up the top of the page, and the king dolerite at the bottom of the page. We haven't looked at these in any detail at all. We've started to do a little bit of work on them this year and have had some reasonable success. We'll be looking at them over the next couple of years. We see a huge opportunity here to continue to grow the resource areas. There's some of the target areas we've been looking at highlighted. So yesterday we announced some results from our initial testing of what we call the Admiral Deeps, which is not particularly deep. It sits about 200 metres below surface. The Admiral Deeps area was first identified from a hole that returned 5 metres at 60 grams per tonne in a composite result. The 1 metre resampling we did to that came back at 4 metres at 263, including 1 metre at just over 1,000 grams per tonne with very coarse gold and with a narrow quartz vein associated with it. The follow-up drilling, you can see the results there. We had 12 metres at 4, including 4 at 11, and 0.6 at 41, 0.3 at 70 grams per tonne. This is potentially really completely changing the, how we see this whole area here. We've got a large area to test at the moment, the Admiral Deeps target that's highlighted there, 600 by 200 metre area. On the next slide, we'll have a look at that cross-section that's highlighted in the centre of the slide there. So on this section, we're looking to the west. The top part of the slide shows the current Admiral resource within the Admiral lode, and we'll be looking to mine that via open pit methods. It's the deeper area there at the bottom of the slide called the Admiral Deeps that we've started to follow up. We've had some really exciting bonanza grade results from that area, and we'll continue to drill this area over the next 3 to 6 months. We've got a diamond rig that's just arrived back on site, and it commenced drilling here again this morning. So hopefully we'll have some really exciting news from that over the coming months. So one thing to note about this area is that the Admiral lode itself dips off shallowly to the northeast, while from our orientations of our drill core here, the Admiral Deeps lodes actually dip off to the southeast. So it's subtly different, but there is a difference here. Moving on, looking at the Orient Well area now. So Orient Well sits another 5 kilometres to the east of the Butterfly Pit. Again, a large mineralised system. The current resource stands at 247,000 ounces in this area. Most of it's within the main Orient Well resource, 189,000 ounces sitting beneath the old oxide pit at Orient Well, and it extends off to the south. The thing that's different about the Orient Well area is the mineralisation is hosted within a felsic volcanic unit associated with a quartz stockwork. The work we've been doing this year we've been testing in the hanging wall to the main Orient Well lode, and also looking to extend it to the north and south. We've just completed another program out here, and we should have some news about that drilling by the end of the year. There's a long section along the strike of the Orient Well ore body. We've drilled it down to about 120 metres below surface, and we expect to be able to mine this just by conventional open pit methods. And moving on and looking at the Puzzle North area now, this sits about 15 kilometres to the southeast of the Orient Well area. We've had some fantastic results from this area over the last 6 months. We only started drilling here in March of 2021. The resource here at the moment is about 59,000 ounces. It sits directly under the old Puzzle oxide pit, but it's the area called Puzzle North that sits about 1 kilometre to the north of the Puzzle pit that's really got us excited over the last 6 months. We've defined wide zones of mineralisation, shallow mineralisation over about 500 metres of strike at the moment, and we're continuing to drill here and expand it. We have some really high hopes for that deposit. So that's pretty much a new discovery. So there's no resource on the Puzzle North area at the moment. And we're continuing to expand on the Puzzle pit. The majority of drilling there was done in the 1990s, and the depth of drilling was only 60 to 80 metres below surface maximum depth. So still in the Puzzle area, we've got what we call the Puzzle mineralised trend. It stretches over about 6 kilometres. We're looking at a granite greenstone contact, and the mineralisation is all within the granite body. We've just completed a program of 10,000 metres of RC and air core drilling to the south of the Puzzle pit over about 4 kilometres of strike. We should have those results in November, December, but we're excited about this whole area. So quickly, we've got plenty of new discovery opportunities away from these areas I've been talking about. We control over 40 kilometres of strike. We've done a lot of work on mapping, 3D modelling that's really come up with a number of new targets that will keep us busy for a long time to come. So quickly, to finish off, we've had a great couple of years at Genesis. I think the future is even brighter. It's a great time to be a shareholder in Genesis. we've got plenty of news flow to come from the drilling programs that we have in front of us. So I'd just like to finish off by thanking the guys that work at Genesis. There's Jeff James, Chris O'Brien and Hayden Hadlow done a fantastic job over the last 12 months, and the rest of the team. And a special thanks to the current Genesis board. Thank you very much.